Well, as you all know by now, during these versus matches, we always feature them around a certain new Prologic product. And in this one, it is these Element compact alarms, and they are compact by name and compact by nature because they are absolutely tiny. And this is thanks to them being completely rechargeable. Now, I'll come on to that a little bit more in a minute, but as you'd expect from an alarm, you can change everything you'd expect to be able to change. So you can change your volume, your tone, your sensitivity. Each one of them has got 6 different settings. So 6 volume, 6 tone, 6 sensitivity. And changing them is super simple as each of the parameters has got its own button. So if you want to change your volume, you can cycle through like so. So you've got a muted mode, and then you've got 5 different levels of volume. Same with tone, you've got 6 different tones. And then the sensitivity, obviously that's not quite as easy to tell what sensitivity you're on, but luckily this beeps in accordance to what sensitivity level you're actually on. So if you're on the lower sensitivity, it will beep once, and if you're on the high sensitivity, it will beep 6 times. So just a quick example, that is going to be the lowest sensitivity, obviously, and then it gradually increases like that until you're on the high sensitivity, which is 6 beeps, and then going back to 1. So it's nice and simple to know exactly where you're at with these, and if you want to change them, it is nice and easy as well. Now, aside from the usual parameters that you can change, you can actually change the LED colour on these as well. So there's 4 different colours to choose from. So if you've got the 4+1 set, again, we'll talk about different sets that you can get a little bit later, but if you've got the 4+1 set, you can have a different colour on each of the alarm heads. Now, these not only do a standard run sort of bite on the tone that you choose, but they do have a drop back tone as well. So if I just ping this, for example, that's your standard run, which is the tone that you choose, and then that flashes up with the colour that you choose as well. But if it comes to a drop back, you'll notice there is a much lower tone. So it's nice and easy to tell if you've got a normal bite or a drop back before you even get to your rods. So one other thing to mention about the alarm heads is you've actually got on this side just a little 2.5mm jacking point. So that means you can use illuminated hangers or anything like that, and the power that these alarms have actually allow you to then power those hangers. So I mentioned these alarms are completely rechargeable, and that's really handy because it means you don't have to think about carrying spare batteries with you, replacing batteries every so often. So it's going to keep the costs down, but it's also a lot easier as well. And that is where this cable comes in. So you've got a single USB-A plug on one end, and then that goes down to the other end, which has got 5 different little heads. Each of these heads can then plug into the back of the alarm head, and that's what charges the alarm. So by having 5 coming off one cable, it means you can charge, if you've got a 4+1 set, for instance, you can charge all 4 alarm heads and 1 receiver with just 1 USB-A socket. And the nice thing about these as well is obviously you can charge them at home, so they're ready for your session. And it's hard to say how long they'll actually last because every session is different. It depends how much use you get out of them. On this session, obviously they're going to last me some time. But if you've got a really productive session, then they're going to be working a lot harder, beeping a lot more, and you'll get less battery life out of them. But generally, Prologic state that you can get between a long weekend to a week's fishing out of them, and that's of heavy use. But the nice thing is you can charge them on the bank. So because it only takes 1 socket, you can use pretty much any power bank that's got a USB-A port on them, and then it can charge it whilst they're still in use. So these alarms and the receiver all have a low battery warning. Basically, once every 10 seconds, it will give you a little bleep to let you know that the battery is low. But yeah, if you've got a power bank, you can plug this in next to them, and then you can charge them whilst they're still running. So there's no downtime. You're not going to be out of action where you think, oh, I've got to bring the rods in because I've got no alarms for 4 hours whilst I charge. You can charge them as they're still working. Now, of course, I keep mentioning 4+1, and that is because the +1 is the receiver. So this set comes with a receiver, again, like the alarm head, fully rechargeable using the same cables that I've outlined just now. Nice thing about this, just like the alarm heads as well, it is fully customizable. You've got 6 different volume settings again. There's actually a vibrate mode just in the middle here that you can choose to have on or off. And then you've got your power button just at the top. So you've got volume, power and vibrate. But then at the top of the receiver, you've also got a little flashlight. It's not the brightest in the world, I'm going to admit, but it is handy. So if you're looking for something in your bivvy, you can literally just hold down this middle button. You're not going to see much now at all, but it turns on your little flashlight, and then when it's actually dark, it is bright enough to have a little look around your bivvy. If you need to find your bait and needle or something like that, it's bright enough for that, so you don't have to worry about putting a bivvy light on. And the nice thing about it, because it's not too bright, in the middle of summer, you're not going to end up attracting a load of mosquitoes when you just want to find your bait and needle. So yeah, it's really nice to have it on there. Some of you won't use it, but some of you will find it very useful indeed. So like I mentioned, these are available in all different sets. So you can get a 2+1 set where you get 2 heads and a receiver, you get a 3+1 or a 4+1. So depending on how many rods you normally fish with, or if you want a spare or not, then you can buy a set that fits what you need. But you can also buy these individually as well. So you can buy just the alarm head or just the receiver. But moving on to the prices, the 2+1 set comes in at $169.99. The 3+1 is $199.99. And then the 4+1 comes in at $249.99. Or like I say, if you wanted to buy them separately, if you've bought a 2+1 set and then you start fishing with a third rod, then you can pick them up at $69.99 each. You can also pick up a spare receiver if you want one for the same price, again at $69.99. So these are the Element Com-Pact alarms. And if you want to find out any more information about these, then please do head over to the Prologic website. But thanks for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one.